Seems good. Oh no. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Hmm. I've not seen a class list or anything. Oh. I was hoping for something different. So it literally is just space whatever you is already in D&D. Hmm. Oh, I'm actually a little bummed. I was hoping for like all different classes. Oh well. I'm just gonna make something totally ridiculous then. If it's just a one shot, I don't care. Yeah, I'm just gonna make something dumb. Yeah. What is this system? Maybe if I look into it more, I'll find something. Dark matter. Oh, is this not even out yet? It's in Kickstarter. Hmm. Is gunslinger allowed? I'm gonna be a gunslinger. Well, it's gunslinger isn't. It's kind of its own weird thing. I just don't know if it's in this because you said there's stuff that's put on top of it. I wonder if they. Mm-hmm. I see. I've been really for a while now wanting to do Starfinder, if you're familiar with that, which is basically it's basically Space Pathfinder, but it has its own whole rule book, its own classes, its own monster manual, its own adventures and everything. Every time I see it at Barnes and Noble, I'm like, I kind of want to buy this and try to run something. Hmm. Not on stream. Mm, oh my god, how boring. Yeah, I decided I'm gonna go gunslinger. I'm gonna be gunslinger. All right, Jeff. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work on my McCree voice. Oh, okay. Hmm. That would be kind of interesting, actually. I wonder if why everybody else has stole from them. Blizzard. That's kind of cool. Do something different. Yeah, when are we planning on doing this anyway? How long do you reckon that's gonna be? I didn't know if you have because I have an estimate of how long it's gonna take you guys to do Jolt. I figured. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Ah. Right. Where are you getting all this information from? Like all this extra stuff? Where do you see? Where you? Oh. Did he? Oh, it did an update for me. I'll see if I can find it. If I can find it, it's my Facebook is messed up today. Work. Yeah, I don't know. It's the same thing, just without the pet. It'd have to be some type of alien. Yeah. Why would you just have a bear if you're in space? Have something weird. I'd have some type of weird alien. Be interesting. Yeah, I would just do some like weird alien thing. Make up a creature. Make up a creature and just use some whatever as a base for it, you know. I'm in. What? Is that Reinhardt? I already play Hammer Guy in another game. Could you send me a link to that in Facebook Messenger? Okay. It's fine.
I've been muted.
Get wrecked. Who sent that, Courtney?
Recordian in the chat.
What's Recordian? Oh, sorry.
A viewer.
Yeah. Sorry, like I lost. I know. Okay. Sorry, lost my mind for a sec.
So, thank you, Recordian. So apparently, yeah, for the past 12 minutes, I have been muted.
Awesome.
Great. So yeah, so we'll just
me talking to myself. That's
we will. So when I upload it to YouTube, I will just cut. I will make a note. 12.
That's fine. We were just talking about a personal game anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, actually, what's interesting is like Ranger would be pretty straightforward in terms of the ability stat arrangement. Artificer, not so like for an elf artificer, totally not so much. And yeah, it totally gets into oh no, what do I do?
Right. Yeah, I just want to do something a little, no.
But the
Wood Elves games like this, I always want to try something different.
Yeah,
so
Wood Elves apparently like Elven society is broken into different houses. And like so it's no longer like, oh, the Drow are enemies or whatever. It's like they're just a specific house. And it's basically when an elf becomes an adult, like they get sorted into a house and then they become that elf subrace.
What?
Yeah. It's cool.
It's weird.
So the Wood Elves are like the shipwrights because they basically grow big giant like tree ships.
Wait, what? Wooden ships? Wooden spaceships?
Yeah, it's basically Spelljammer. It's like it's like or Space Jammer, where yeah. So but it's basically all the spaceships are powered by magic, and so like your warp drives and jump drives and everything are like they essentially like plane shift you into another plane where everything moves fast, kind of a thing, and that's how you do like your faster than light travel. And there's like portals that function as gates, like warp gates and stuff. And gnomes, I guess, are special in this setting where they don't believe in magic. So gnomes, anytime gnomes create technology, it functions like mechanically the same way as its like magical counterpart, but it is entirely non-magical. So they function in anti-magic zones and stuff like that. So like if you had like a wand of fireballs, if it was of gnomish make, it would instead just be like a bomb thrower and would be able to function as in a anti-magic zone.
I see.
Yeah. But yeah, some of the sub races are fun. There's a robot one. There's a big insectoid one. There's like a blob race. There's one in which you play as like an aquatic fish person in a giant power suit aquarium. So it's like you're in a big giant like mech suit, but the whole thing is filled with this special liquid from your homeworld.
I want a mech. I'm gonna ask Tuck if I can have a mech.
Probably. I would assume so. Oh god, you're fulfilling the role that Andy did in the last game we played with Tuck, where he was a gunslinger guy with a mech.
That's it.
We blew his mech up in session 1.
Oh, of course.
We turned it into a bomb and blew it up.
Or I want to be I don't know if you're familiar with any of the Gundam series, but G Gundam.
I'm vaguely familiar with Gundam.
So G Gundam, basically, that series is every few years they have a mech tournament to see who rules the world, and each country sends a mech fighter, martial art mech fighter, to the tournament.
Okay. Nice.
Most Gundams aren't like this. Most Gundams are like there's a lot of political intrigue,
yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But this one's just so off the wall, over the top, weird, and like they shout their moves when they do them. It's super anime, and it's really fun and stupid in the best way.
Yeah. So that's why I was pushing for like to do just a goofy, funny sci-fi series, like Futurama kind of thing, where like we're giving a shit, but it's like whatever. But yeah. But the big thing was so Star Wood Elves are shipwrights and pilots, so they get piloting for free. So that I would basically be like some kind of crack pilot, maybe a smuggler.
A crack pilot.
maybe a smuggler. I was thinking as one of the feats. Be the best dang pilot in the galaxy. So yeah,
I'm just gonna shoot things with blasters. I'm gonna shout high noon.
One of the benefits of the smuggler feat is that you shoot first. So like if you it's like when you roll initiative or whatever, you get to you can use your reaction to make a free attack. Kind of a thing. So it's like, you always shoot first.
Seems good.
Yeah. All right. Well, now that I am not muted, we should get started.
Probably fair.
Yeah. So, going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming up on episode 134, Captain Marvel's out, Devil May Cry 5 is out, WoW Classic News is out, and much, much more on the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. We're bringing you the latest and greatest limited amount of geeky news of the past week. I am your host, Sean Hayes, and with me is only one of my wonderful co-hosts, Josh York.
Now, I'm trying to see where it says Devil May Cray.
Devil May Cray Cray.
Devil May Cray. I think.
Yeah.
It's not it.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say, folks.
There are takes, son, and this ain't it. So yeah, Courtney is under the weather tonight, so she is bowing out, but please get better. We miss you. And I have all sorts of news for you, Courtney. So with that, it was kind of a weird news week. I didn't really find a whole lot of stuff that I found super engaging.
There's nothing I care about.
I've also been dealing with a lot of stuff from work, so that did not lend itself well to like keeping on tabs of anything besides work.
Right.
But so yeah, I mean the big one, Captain Marvel's out. It's made a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean we were talking about it before we put up the pre-show. And Josh, you were saying that you saw kind of mixed reviews. I mean, what I saw, like official reviews, were either mixed or good, but from a lot of the folks that I chat with, like in various podcast groups and everything or whatever, like all loved it. So
an 8-year-old told me it was good at school yesterday.
Cool.
So
You know?
there's that.
Ironically, one of the things that I have been seeing is it is apparently so that it was I guess the joke is like Dragon Ball fans are mad that it's better than the Dragon Ball movie.
Oh,
which
everything's better
which
than
you know
the
everything's
Dragon
better
Ball
than it,
movie.
but like it's a better Dragon Ball movie than the Dragon Ball movie.
Not setting the bar high there.
No, but I mean, the fact that it's the comparison can be apt.
Yes, I can see that.
Is nice. Yeah, or it was a little cartoon that I saw that it was like Captain Marvel like in her suit and everything, like talking about how her movie's like totally different and totally not Dragon Ball and everything, and then it's just like panning in closer and closer images of like Dragon Ball villains and stuff, and talking about how it goes over certain plot points, but like talking them vague enough that you could basically apply it to like from Dragon Ball 1 all the way through like the Boo saga.
Oh, jeez.
So I thought that was funny. But yeah, I meant to go see it over the weekend and then on last night, but just haven't been able to get around to it.
We all know my feelings on Marvel movies at this point. I'm over it.
Yeah.
So I will not see it.
Yeah. Are you going to go see Endgame?
Eh,
Ooh.
not
Woof.
just not into it. It's just so
Yeah.
I don't know. It bores me at this point. I just want to see something new. So I've said this before. All the Marvel movies feel exactly the same to me at this point. Like when they first came out, it felt kind of fresh and new, but there's just been so many. And I'm just like, yeah, I get it. After Endgame, they need to stop for a few years. They won't, but they should, and then start up again with X-Men and Fantastic Four, and do something completely different.
I mean they might shift Phase 4 now that they're getting X-Men rights.
Like when they do X-Men, I will be excited.
Yeah, and not Dark Phoenix.
All I've heard is that all screen testing was awful.
Yeah, it's sounds pretty bad.
I didn't like Sansa Stark as Jean Grey. I don't know her actual name, so I call her Sansa.
Yeah.
But I didn't like her in the other Apocalypse.
Yep.
As Jean Grey.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just all those X-Men movies are.
I know. I did hear that Disney. I guess Marvel is planning on doing some things different for Phase 4. That I know will also heavily involve Captain Marvel. Which I mean, I guess would make sense since she's a character newly being introduced.
Yeah.
One
of the reviews I was watching today, I feel like made a pretty good point where like she's so integral to the everything now in Marvel, but she's coming in so late in the game.
Yeah.
That it kind of feels almost like shoved in. Like, oh, here's the most important person. We're telling you about her last. Whereas you built up Captain America and Iron Man and everybody else for the last decade or so with like all this story building, story and character building and stuff. And now, oh, here the person who's going to save them. We're going to tell you about her at the very end, real quick. Here she is.
Yeah,
which is cool. I think Miss Marvel's cool. I don't know. It's kind of weird just to shove someone in. More than Captain Marvel, I like Miss Marvel, the newer comic series. Yeah. I really like the Miss Marvel books. They're great.
I think what they should have done was if they were going to introduce a person last minute and have them defeat Thanos, which is what the theory is that she'll be the one to defeat Thanos or something. Is integral. The unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Yeah, joke character.
Yep.
Is joke.
Absolutely. Yep. You bring her and Deadpool in. Her, Deadpool, and Gwenpool all in at the same time. Yeah. But yeah, something about how I guess Phase 4 will be something totally different. I want to see a Jay and Bob style movie with Korg and Mick. Yes. Like to do something totally different, have Kevin Smith work with Taika Waititi on it.
Why not? Kevin Smith's already written for Marvel, I think.
Yep.
He wrote a Daredevil run.
Yep.
At least, and he's probably done more.
Yep. Yeah. Do that style movie with those two characters, and I can guarantee it will make bank.
Yeah, I just want to get away from like the formulaic feeling I
Yeah.
get from all the movies.
And have it like not even do any kind of like superhero adventures, but just like the two of them, just I don't know, whatever they're doing right now, just hanging out.
What are you guys doing?
trying to start another revolution somewhere. Who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they do something different, but probably they won't because the money talks.
Yeah.
So if they're making money, they're not going to change that.
Yep. I did see it was just a quick piece of news as far as Disney Plus, kind of tangentially related to Marvel. But it will have the entire Disney animated library on there, which like I mean, technically counts as news, but like I don't think anybody was really surprised by that because that was kind of the point. So the real question is Black Cauldron. Will it be on there? And when are we getting to recap from last week? When are we getting our live action Black Cauldron movie?
Oh yeah, that's the one you were telling me about.
Yeah. Better yet, have Disney collaborate with Blizzard on that one and just combine the two into the Arthas saga.
God. Here's how Blizzard redeems themselves, by the way, with all the crap they've been doing.
Yeah.
Is make an actual animated Warcraft movie.
Yep.
And they would redeem themselves somewhat.
Yep.
But, I mean, that would take years and years and years to make.
And actually, speaking of Blizzard news, as a follow up from kind of the layoff news, I guess in a bit of sort of dark irony, they're now projecting that the layoffs could actually hurt them and cost them money in the long run.
Yeah,
because of consumer backlash. So it was they made all those moves to streamline and everything, and now it just may end up costing them money. So yeah. But yeah. And speaking of that, might as well go into the WoW news.
Sure.
So for the current game,
remember a game? You remember that game you played 15 years ago?
Yeah. But as far as the live game right now, patch 8.1.5 came out today. So you can play as your Zandalari and your Kultirans.
Oh, you can be a chunky boy now?
Yep.
Great.
And with it includes kind of the Derek Proudmoore quest line. And this was something that got hinted at in the past, and I believe we talked about it, where it will give Horde players choices to make. And that will kind of affect... It won't affect the ultimate outcome, but will affect your role in the storyline.
Lame.
So, spoilers for anybody that doesn't, want to do this. But, you might want to cut out for like the next 10, 15 minutes or so. Skip ahead. Or cover your ears if you're a live listener on the stream. But basically...
If you care about WoW.
Yeah, if you care about World of Warcraft. Yeah. So we already knew that Sylvanas had acquired the body of Derek Proudmoore, which is a little bit of a retcon already. Because he was supposed to have been...
One of our quests we had to do on Horde side was go find the body.
Yeah, because apparently at the end of Warcraft 2, he was supposed to have been burnt to ash by Dragonfire.
Yeah, whatever.
So, but, so you get his body. She reanimates it as a Forsaken, and then starts commencing with mind control torture to basically turn him into like a sleeper agent assassin kind of a thing. And you see Bane like look at it, and he's like screaming and everything, and Bane's like, "Oh, this is no good. This isn't what the Horde stands for," and then just like leaves. And that was like all we kind of knew. So Horde players were like, "Oh, well, there goes Bane, just talking a big game but not doing anything ever." Well, you find out Bane actually puts up, and he hatches a plan with I can't remember the guy's name. Something Kelling, something Velling, something. He's some Forsaken guy that like isn't loyal to Sylvanas. The two of them break Proudmoore out and then send Valera to deliver a message to Jaina to meet them off the coast of Theramore. And they do, and Bane and this Forsaken guy deliver Derek Proudmoore to Jaina presumably before Sylvanas can like mess with his head.
Boo.
And words are exchanged. Jaina thanks Bane and says like, well, you're probably gonna die because of this, right? And he's like,
I'm already
probably. Then you find out that Sylvanas has called an emergency meeting of all the Horde leaders and apparently is selling high-priced tickets to anyone else that wants to go. There's some dialogue among goblins or whatever that like they paid for tickets to this meeting and they were really expensive. It's weird. But so you have the entirety of the Horde leadership there in Darkshore.
Yeah.
And Sylvanas then it says that there's like a traitor in their midst, points out that undead guy, and then Bane steps up for him and says, no, it was me. Nathanos kills the undead guy anyway. And then
kills Bane.
And then they take and arrest Bane and drag him off. The orc guards drag him off, kind of thing. And that's like kind of the end of the cinematics that I've seen so far.
Yeah.
So who knows? Yeah, and basically it ends with like Sylvanas saying, defiance will not be tolerated.
No, Starfang's gonna come back and take over the Horde and blah 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 blah.
Yep.
And then
or Thrall. I mean, there's thoughts that Starfang may be in Outland, maybe heading to Outland.
Is that where Thrall is?
I don't know. I read another comment that Thrall's actually just a Dalaran or something. So I don't know where he is. He can go anywhere. I mean, it's not like it's not like we
can't do anything anymore. Thrall can't do anything anymore.
Well, what I mean is like nobody's gonna stop him from going to Outland.
Oh yeah.
They're just gonna be like, okay, yeah, sure, go home, whatever. Sure. I mean, I'm not gonna stop you.
Go home, Thrall. You're drunk.
Oh. No, he's got a babby to look out for.
Yeah, just throw it through the dark portal.
Baby through the dark portal?
Yeah.
You monster.
Be a real orc.
No.
If it's strong, it'll survive.
But yeah. So who knows what repercussions this may have for the Tauren in general. So yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah. But in other news, we got a release schedule for the basically the end game content for WoW Classic. It's going to be done in 4 stages. The first stage is going to be Molten Core, Onyxia, Dire Maul, Kazakh, and Azurgos.
Dire Maul's considered endgame?
Or at least raid content.
Dire Maul's considered raid content?
Dire Maul was a 10-man raid.
Okay.
Initially. It got changed to be a dungeon. But it used to be a 10-man, like, basically like...
Ubers.
Well, yeah. So stage 2 is Blackwing Lair. Battlegrounds and PvP rewards in Zul'Gurub. So you won't have your PvP rewards right off the bat. For anybody that was, hoping, anybody that was like, oh, that was the best part of Classic or whatever, you won't have that right off the bat.
That's the only thing that semi-interested me was the old PvP system.
Yep. Stage 3 is Anchorage, tier 0.5, Silithus content, and the Green Dragons. And then stage 4 is Naxxramas and the Scourge Invasion.
And then what?
I don't know. Because there is no more content for Classic after that. So yeah, I don't know.
I am still convinced people do not actually want this. It's going to be popular for like a few months when it first comes out, and people are going to be like, oh yeah, this sucked.
I think you're right. I also think as far as like I think the community that does enjoy it,
I think there's a small
I think it's a small but very vocal community, so it makes it seem like there's more people interested in it than actually are.
I believe everybody has on their rose-colored glasses when they look at the game.
Oh, absolutely. Because here's the thing: is I never played in vanilla, so I don't have the nostalgia. I have my nostalgia is Burning Crusade, where they already did a whole bunch of quality of life adjustments. But even me, thinking back to then, playing a hunter, I'm like, no, I do not want to go back to then and have to carry around bags of food and arrows. And I basically like, more so than other classes, have an upkeep cost to just play my character. Not even like to do endgame content or whatever, like farming, materials and stuff. Just like even just going out and doing casual content, I have to go out and buy arrows to fill in my bag or craft arrows to put into my bag and everything. And it's like, no, I really don't want that. Or where like one of the best items that I had was a thing that you got from like the Sporagar faction, where it's an item that creates like underspore pods or whatever, which you could feed to certain pets. So it just gave you a stack of food so that you didn't have to go out and buy food.
Right.
Uh, and it's like, yeah, no, I don't really care. Or hit rate, having to stack hit rating.
Weapon skill.
Yeah, no, I don't miss that either. Of just, oh, I got a new weapon that I don't have it leveled up. Congrats, I have to go to Stranglethorn Vale now and just like miss 300 times on an enemy.
More.
Or more, yeah.
Jesus, to max it out.
Well, I got more and more as time
Crazy.
went on, yeah. Yeah, I don't miss that. They're not systems
Leveling
that added
was
gameplay.
so slow. There weren't enough quests for you to level.
Yep.
Like you would run out of quests at a certain point, and there's like, oh, I hope you like grinding.
Yep. Or I remember, yeah, like I had quests, but like they were either group quests or dungeon quests, or they were too high level or something, and I was like, well, I don't have a group to do any of this with, so even though I was part of a guild, because like nobody else was leveling,
right?
So I was like, well, okay, then I just can't do these quests.
Yeah.
Or Rando World Chicken Quest number 75, where it was like, oh, go find a chicken somewhere in the world and then escort it somewhere. Alliance had a whole bunch of quests where it was like a gnomish chicken bot or something. You would get an egg.
I played Alliance back then. I don't remember.
You would find like the egg was a random drop, just like a world drop. And then it would give you a quest that says like that basically, said like, oh, this is for, robot number X4279, blah blah blah. And then it would give you like a very vague description, which you then had to figure out like where this would be somewhere in the world, and then head to that location, activate the chicken, and then escort it somewhere. So it was like every bad quest design in Classic was all wrapped up in these individual quests. And then yeah, it's, I also think people, I don't know, as far as like the only reason why everybody was able to do half those quests was because of places like WoW had her Thoughtbot. If you remember Thoughtbot.
I do.
Yeah.
And again, this nostalgia I think comes from when it was a different time in the internet.
Oh yeah.
Every single thing about the game was leaked ahead of time.
Yep.
There was some mystery to the game. There was a sense of exploration and unknown to the game to some extent.
Yep.
It wasn't like now where you just go on MMO Champion and every little thing comes out every day, like every little piece of news, every piece of content, like way ahead of time.
Yep.
What's going to happen before it, which it wasn't like that to the same extent in 2004, 2005, 2006.
And I also feel like the people that like power level weren't as refined in their power leveling, so that, it wasn't like, okay, the servers are open and within the first hour we have a world first kind of
and
thing.
Also, players are better at the game now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I this always annoys me when like the old raids were so much harder. I don't think they were. I think you just needed more people, and the more people you have, you're obviously gonna have more slackers, and that makes it harder because there's always some slackers in a raid group. That's just the way it is.
Or just the fact that you needed 40 people.
Exactly.
And if it's a
people,
and let's put it this, if it's a very,
you're gonna have people you're gonna have rangers AFK auto attacking.
Yeah.
You're gonna have crap like that going on.
Or and if it's like what would be considered a difficult fight.
Mechanics now are way more complicated and difficult than they were in those.
But just saying, like, if you had a difficult fight, it was more the fact that with 40 people, there's more of a chance for like one person to screw up and then
Yes.
wipe the raid. That
Yes.
it doesn't factor into like really an individual skill factor. It's just like just numbers at that point.
And people were like, well, only 1% of guilds completed Naxxramas when it first came out. It came out right before the expansion. And again, it was a different time.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
as many
and
people
it was
raided.
also 4 horsemen, I guess, required 8 tanks.
Right. It was
Like
again
what raiding guild had 8 tanks that were
the
available
ones that completed it,
for every
like
raid?
serious raiding
Yeah.
guilds. Again, it was a different time.
Yep.
I think the demographic of the way people played was way different.
Yeah.
People are way more used to raid mechanics now. So I think you go back and people are going to have a much easier time on those
Yeah.
fights that people thought were so difficult. I think, again, it's just, I think it's the 100% nostalgia, 100% ego for those people who played back then and were like, in my day, it's just like old people in real life. In my day,
Yeah.
things were way harder and way better. Okay, sure. Every generation says that to the next
Well,
generation.
and it's also the question comes up is was it way harder because of intended difficulty, or was it way harder because of just bad game design? Which comes up a lot when talking about like NES games. Like, was this game
NES
intended to be difficult, or was it just poorly designed and that made it difficult?
Well, in that era, you got a bit of both
Yeah.
because you have to go back to arcade games, which were specifically designed to be very difficult and unfair to make
Oh
you
yeah,
spend more
absolutely.
quarters, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of bled into the NES era, but I don't know. It wasn't as big of an. It wasn't the same gigantic industry that it is now that just pumps out games, pumps out games, pumps out games. Right?
And I guess the point that I was trying to make is like, for as far as some of the difficulty that was in Classic, was that actually because it was difficult and rewarding, or was it just no, this was a poorly designed system that they then later said, hey, this is bad design, let's fix it, and then did?
I don't know about that.
I mean, I think most,
particularly in the raids, I don't think so.
Maybe not the raids. I'm just thinking a lot of the quests or whatever, where it's like, yeah, like for example, yeah, you would just you would have no quests, or quests would send you, like you would have a quest in the hinterlands or something that would suddenly send you to Silithus, randomly for no reason, kind of a thing, and then you would have another one that would send you to Winterspring, when like it was not level appropriate for the zone, and and then you would do that quest, and then it would send you to like Stranglethorn Vale, kind of a thing, that they just bounced you all over the place without any semblance of like a flow through the zone.
Right.
So yeah. I know most of the people that I've talked to about this are like, oh yeah, I'm excited to level that thing again, and but like I won't play it very seriously, kind of a thing. And I think like it'll be a curiosity.
Yep. I think it's
and I don't think it'll be anything more than that. So
yep, it's a novelty as far
and
as
then,
I'm concerned.
And then I mean, yeah, and then what happens? Like, let's say that you get into a raiding guild for Classic, and then you clear all the content, and then, like, what are you just gonna raid Naxxramas? And like in let's say that you keep raiding Naxxramas, you get it on farm status. I mean, what happens then? Like, you're just gonna farm Naxxramas for
beat the game
the rest of the day? Yeah. Or the folks that are like, oh, I love the community or whatever. Like, are you really gonna log into the game and then sit there for 3 hours just talking in trade chat? Like, ironically, you guys have phones, right? Like,
yeah,
that's literally like what the community tab's for, right? And like phones, to just, if you're just gonna hang out and chat with people.
That's different though, because people.
I know.
That's the point of being immersed in a fantasy game, right? You want to feel like you're in it and connected to people in it. You want to feel like you're actually in the game. You want to be transported there mentally. So that's, I get what you're saying, but I think it's a little different than that.
A little bit. I know from my own personal experience, like for all the people that I would play in game with, I'm also friends with them outside of game. So yeah, I just rather just send them a Facebook message or something. But
Right.
yeah,
Whatever,
I also
but
wasn't really involved in a lot of like server politics or anything like that. So it's basically like log on, chat with the guild, and actually do stuff. But yeah, if I needed to talk to any guild members without wanting to play at all, I had that available to me outside of game.
Yeah.
So, eh.
That's what I've said since they said WoW Classic. I mean, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I'm personally more excited about the Derek Proudmoore quest line because yay, continuing alliance good guys and
Blah, boring,
and
predictable, boring.
Yeah.
That's what I think about the story at this point in WoW.
It's just, can we just get Sylvanas out at this point? Just like get her out.
I was so over it after I get it. So give Sylvanas a mustache and let her twirl it. I get it.
What's funny is in the there's one particular person that's been doing the cutscenes and everything, but like also adds in their own little elements or whatever. And while Sylvanas is conducting the meeting, they had edited in a big giant like Mario mustache on her that like twirls at the end, kind of a thing. And it was that was great.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't mention was they're also setting it up for like Light Forged Forsaken or whatever. I guess implying like something happens with Kalia Menethil.
Okay.
So, because she factored heavily before the expansion in like the stories and stuff before the expansion, and she was like part of the Priest Order Hall in Legion. Yeah, that was the expansion, right? Legion.
Legion was the last expansion.
Yeah, she was like a. So Arthas's sister, was like a big NPC, in the Priest, campaign, kind of a thing. So, yeah, I guess you end up like shipping Derek off to her, kind of a thing. So it may be like either adding this new option for Forsaken as like an allied race, like a different kind of Forsaken as an allied race for the Horde, or potentially for the Alliance. Nobody really knows. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to get to a certain point where I almost wonder like if they just dispel with, like, I know it sounds like heresy, but like essentially treat the Horde and the Alliance almost like the Aldor and the Scryer back in Burning Crusade, where it's reaching a point where like it's not really tied to like between race and faction these days, since there's just so much like cross hopping and everything or whatever, and then just like you pick, like you build your race and you pick which faction. I don't know.
I don't know that.
Maybe if they decide to do like a WoW 2 or something.
Yeah, I don't think WoW's ballsy enough to do anything like that right now.
Nah.
I honestly think MMO is a dying genre.
Yeah, I could see them doing.
I don't think you're stopping the downtrend on that.
No.
Unless something really new and really different or really exciting comes out.
Yeah.
Which, as far as I keep track of MMOs, and there's nothing really super interesting on the horizon.
No, I mean Elder Scrolls Online seems to be doing okay.
So is Final Fantasy 14.
Oh yeah,
those are already existing games.
Yes,
that aren't really doing anything very different.
Yeah,
not really.
I could see them. I wonder if they did. I wonder if they did a single player WoW, kind of like, almost like a Fallout or Skyrim type game, but had it be smaller multiplayer kind of a thing.
I don't know.
So that it would be like a single player, or not necessarily single player, but you get what I'm trying to say, like an open world kind of a thing. Basically that everybody wanted Elder Scrolls Online to be, which was like you and like 4 of your friends playing Skyrim, basically.
Borderlands.
Yes.
Basically.
Actually, that's yes. So something like Borderlands, yeah, where it's like essentially I guess a campaign, and that you could do expansions or whatever.
Destiny.
Yeah, do something like Destiny.
The Division.
Maybe not Anthem.
If you want your PlayStation to turn into a brick, yeah.
Yeah, apparently. Yep. But yeah, something like I could see something like that working, maybe.
Maybe. What's that game?
Actually, would be interesting is something where they gave you a lot more choice and a lot more agency.
Warframe is what I'm thinking. Warframe.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that.
Yeah. So that it's kind of like Destiny-ish.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think something like that might be interesting for the next
Well,
iteration.
smaller group-based, almost Diablo-like, but either third person or first person. Yeah, maybe. I still like MMOs. Don't get me wrong, even though I think it's a dying genre. It's just
yeah.
I still like those games. There's just not a lot that interests me that much because there's nothing really new going on. And I don't know, I haven't found one recently that has the parts of MMOs I like done well.
Yeah.
For example, I really like PvP. I haven't found an MMO recently that has PvP that I really like.
Yep.
I don't like WoW's PvP unless it's super low level.
Yep.
I'd never tried Final Fantasy XIV's PvP just because it didn't seem good. And there's nothing else really out there that interests me. I played Guild Wars 2 way back. I don't know. It didn't really grab me. There's nothing. That's why I'm playing Warhammer Online Private Server, a game from 2007.
Yep.
That I really love. It's probably my favorite MMO ever. And
I mean, that's kind of why, like, I've gone back to,
well. That game did not age well.
Yeah, doing
but still kind of fun.
Switch or Monster Hunter, basically. For me, that's why I haven't played anything Blizzard really.
Yeah, I haven't played HOTS in like a week or so. It's been a little while.
Yep.
Partially because I don't have the time. I really have to pick what games I'm going to play at this point. Because I honestly, with my new job, I have no time.
Yeah.
To play as many games as I used to.
Yep. I did beat a whole bunch of new monsters in Monster Hunter though, so that was exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spiky Boy.
Nice.
It's a monster that it's a flying dragon that has big thick horns on its head, but also over the fight grows spikes all over its body. And they start out as white, and they basically turn darker and darker until they're black. And as they get darker and darker, they get more and more damage resistance. And then if it gets covered in black spikes, it then does it flies up in the air, and there's a dive bomb attack that has a enormous hitbox that is nearly impossible to get away from. That deals massive amounts of damage that can often one-shot people. So the goal is to try and manage spike growth. Which if you just target those areas, you can break the spikes. But then once it dive bombs, it then loses all of its spikes and then starts over.
I see.
Yeah, it's a nifty little dragon. It's got really good armor too, so that's nice.
Cool.
But yeah. So Devil May Cry 5.
Oh.
What you got?
You mean this?
Devil May Cry.
Yeah. So again, honestly, I haven't had a lot of time to play games. I've played maybe the first hour and a half-ish of the game. So I can give my initial impressions on it.
Sure.
And it's a Devil May Cry game, for those of you who have played one before. It is absolutely ridiculous and stupid and dumb in the best possible ways. Kotaku, the video they did, the guy described it as the trash in the best possible way. He was quoting some old article or essay written in the 60s that talked about movies where the line between a brilliant movie and trash is so thin that we have to learn to appreciate trash movies because really good movies are so few and far between. And it's kind of like that with video games, right? Really, really good, game-changing game doesn't come along that often. So you should kind of just suspend your disbelief and kind of enjoy trashy games and not call them a guilty pleasure and just yeah, I like this. And that's Devil May Cry. It's about guys with big swords fighting demons, and like you get your combos are scored on the screen. There's just witty one-liners. The story doesn't make any sense. Like you're driving in a van in a cutscene, and you like go in the air, and the van's flipping in the air. You go out the window and fight demons while the van's crashing.
Nice.
And then it lands, and you go back in the window somehow. It's just, and it's all in slow motion. It's just dumb, over the top, stupid. But I mean that in a good way. It's just fun, and that's the gameplay. You're just like, so there's 3 different characters you can play.
Mm-hmm.
I've played the main guy, Nero, only at this point, but you're just shooting around the screen, hitting things with your sword, shooting up in the air, jumping into the air, using your mechanical hand to shoot out and grab things and pull them towards you while you're still in the air and flipping around. It's silly. It's absolutely silly.
Nice.
But it's just like, I can kind of turn my brain off a little bit and just be like, yeah, this is kind of fun and stupid and just enjoyable. This is a game. And a game that knows it's a game and just it leans into that 100% and doesn't take itself super seriously pretty much at all, even with its story.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story about demons, and there's kind of a story about Dante and his brother, but whatever. It's just a means for you to fight demons.
Is it a Capcom game?
It is a Capcom game.
Okay, so the only other exposure I have to Devil May Cry is one of the streamers that I follow would often play Marvel vs. Capcom, and one of his fighter loadouts was Dante. Yeah. Okay.
So in the game, there's 3 characters you can play. There's Nero, Dante, and this new character called V.
Mm-hmm.
Dante and Nero are both big sword, gray hair guy. Mm-hmm. Gray hair, big sword man. Although they play slightly different. So Nero's thing is he has this mechanical like robot arm that you can like shoot out and grab things with it. And there's different versions of it you can buy and equip on that do different things or have different effects.
Nice.
Which is actually pretty interesting. And the other thing is, like, Nero's so reckless, he breaks them all the time, and that's part of the mechanic. Like, you can hit your left bumper to purposely make it blow up and knock everything around you away. Like, if you're in a tight spot, you can break one. And they have, like, 6 on a holster that you can, like, put back on your arm.
Nice.
It's, like I said, it's just dumb, silly things. So that's his main mechanic. I've seen gameplay of Dante in this one. Again, he's big sword, but he can turn into an actual demon and fly around with a big sword and cut things. There's also a part where he has a motorcycle that he uses as swords.
Yes.
So he rides it on a motorcycle. The motorcycle splits in half into 2 swords, and he's fighting things with 2 halves of a motorcycle. Again, ridiculous, stupid, over the top, but it's just like, yeah.
That's like, that kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy Advent Children. And I think that's like how that's how they justify Cloud uses Omnislash or whatever, is that he has like 16 swords in his motorcycle, and he pushes a button and it throws them out into the air.
Dante is literally taking 2 halves of a motorcycle.
No, I know.
Around.
Yeah, so I know it's different. It just reminded me of that, and how like, oh, Omnislash isn't just like Cloud, Cloud takes 1 sword and just like attacks multiple times. No, he has 16 swords, and they all go flying out into the air from his motorcycle.
Hey, I guess what? I really like Advent Children. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh,
I kind of like that movie.
I like it too.
Again, that's another trash that you just like, yeah, okay, it's trash and it's fun.
No, it is absolutely not trash.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Anyways.
No, the Dragon Ball movie's trash.
In the bad way.
Yes.
So, and then the other character is V, who's just total emo edgelord. Black hair, wear all black.
Oh, no.
Walks with a cane.
Okay.
Has sleeve tats. But his mechanic's interesting, where he's not like up in your face with a sword like the other 2. He has these shadow pets that fight for him.
Okay.
So he kind of stands back, and you order around. He has this shadow raven and a shadow panther thing that do all the fighting for him. And then, like, once they get the enemies low enough, he goes up and does like something with his cane to finish them off.
Nice.
So you're not actually fighting with him. He kind of just stands, and like he's weak and slow, and he doesn't move very fast. So his mechanic is pretty different. And like his special power is he can like summon a big shadow demon to do like a lot of damage or something.
Oh, cool.
I haven't gotten to his levels yet. I also like that. So I'm here's another thing I'm over is open world games. I think I've said this before. Sometimes it's just too much for me.
Yeah.
And occasionally, yes, I'll really get into one, but most of the time, I'm just like too much. It's an overload. I don't have time to be as methodical as I am in a game to do all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just like, here's mission one. It's a level. When you're done with it, you go out of it to the, pick your next level screen and go to
Yeah,
your
I think that's the thing
item
that
shop, buy your weapons and buy your upgrades, and then you can go to the next level.
I think it's
Which
something
is like,
that's underutilized these days.
well, and for someone like me who doesn't have tons of time and like I really have to think about,
Yeah.
particularly if I'm playing a RPG like or like a Final Fantasy, right? Like, oh, I know I'm gonna have to wait till I get to a save point
Yep.
to stop playing. Whereas this is like, yeah, I know it's gonna be like, I don't know, maybe a half hour to do a level max if I'm slow,
Yeah.
and then I can save and be on. So I like this that yeah, it's a level. I can pop in, do a level, and turn it off if I need to.
Yeah. It makes it almost seem like so either like a Super Mario 64 kind of a thing where like it's for the time anyway, it was a pretty big world to
Right,
explore,
right.
but like you were given a specific task and like you can veer off that task if you want.
Right.
But like it wasn't just like, oh, I'm just here now forever kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter actually does this where like you pick a specific mission and like you can do like free hunts and stuff like that. But typically like you pick a specific mission and most of them like they also give you a time limit too. So and like you can decide how long you want to take to do the mission.
Right.
Or if you want to do other stuff.
Also in Devil May Cry, you get scored for each level, like how well you did it, and that part of that includes how quickly you did the level.
Oh,
So
nice. There we go.
That's incorporated. Like if you do it fast, you don't die, and like how well you did your combos in combat, you'll get different scores
like
for your
high score is something that you don't see an awful lot of these days.
Well, that's why I mean. Like this is a game.
It
keeps track of points and stuff. Like when you're fighting things and in combat, like a thing will pop up in your screen, like right here if you're watching this where my hand is, and it'll grade you on how good your combo is in the fight, like how well you strung together attacks. It starts with like D for dismal, and it goes all the way up to like A, B, badass, A, awesome, S, whatever,
superb.
Like superb. Then there's like double S and triple S, and so that's part of the game. Like, oh, can I keep this combo going? And can I avoid getting hit because that'll break my combo? And so again, it's a game, and it knows it's a game, and it treats it like that, which again is refreshing to me because it's just like, yeah, this is a game. It's not as serious as like Red Dead or even God of War, the new God of War was.
Makes me wonder, you might enjoy the new No More Heroes game, Travis Strikes Again.
Yeah, Travis Touchdown.
Because it's something like it doesn't really tie into like the other game, or it's not like in the style of the other game, where it's like it has something to do with like Travis is like in like a TV kind of a thing, and like each channel is different.
Yeah.
Sort of a thing. So it's something weird like that. So it's like every different channel, there's like different themes and stuff going on. But like he knows that and it's like all TV tropes and stuff like that.
Yeah, like every once in a while, I like just a dumb game.
That reminds me of like Gex was like that. Do you remember Gex?
I do, on a PS1. I remember.
Yeah, that was, and so that was a very similar thing. Where
it might have come out on the 64 too.
It did. I have it on 64.
Yeah.
Where like he knows he's in a like TV world, and you have to collect like TV remotes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, all sorts of like fourth wall breaking humor kind of stuff.
So I mean, if you like games like Bayonetta, or the other Devil May Cries, or a lot of the stuff from Platinum Games, Metal Gear Revengeance, that type of stuff. I mean, those really, the first Devil May Cry was kind of the first game like that kind of spawned the whole kind of that, and the original God of War. And there was an old game called Onimusha too, Onimusha, which was like a samurai type one. But those games were kind of the first real spectacle action games where it was just all about doing crazy stuff with whatever you were fighting, you know?
Yeah.
So if you want to kind of just turn your brain off and want a stupid, dumb game that's just fun and you can kind of laugh at and be like, this is so silly, and just enjoy a game for being a game, I would recommend it. I'm looking forward to the weekend where I actually get a chance to sit down and play it some more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So.
Capcom killing it, by the way.
Yeah.
Recently, Monster Hunter World, um, Resident Evil 2 remake, Devil May Cry 5. What else? They had a couple more.
Mega Man
Mega Man
11.
11. Mega Man 11.
Yep.
I saw the other, and there's like one more, but like they've had 5 or 6 games come out in the last like year that have all been pretty good.
Oh, actually, that reminds me. There was some news about all the Resident Evil games that are coming to Switch.
Oh yeah.
So Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1, and Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
They're each going to be $30.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Is it the HD remaster of Resident Evil 1? Probably the GameCube version.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because that's
it's
like
also weird where like the Resident Evil 0 and 1 like come on a single. So I don't know if it's they together cost $30 because like they come on one game cartridge, but only one of them's on the cartridge, the other one's a download code.
They happen chronologically at the same time.
Yeah. No, what I mean is like
that's probably why they're together like that.
Yeah. So, but what I don't know is if they charge you separately for the two, or if it's $30 for like the bundle.
If it's on one cartridge, it's just gonna be.
Well, you get a download code with the cartridge for the other one.
It's weird. It'll just come with it.
Yeah.
My guess.
Yeah. But I guess 4 is also going to be $30, which
I can kind of see that because 4 is a pretty iconic. That changed Resident Evil big time. That was when they went to the over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Really changed the whole Resident Evil series.
But I guess it's $20 on all the other platforms.
I think they're trying to get the younger kids who didn't play this back in the early 2000s. Like, hey, look at this game.
Yeah, I know they were
this new game.
On Nintendo Voice Chat. They were joking about how maybe they're charging extra money for the Nintendo ones so that they can make a new Monster Hunter for Nintendo Switch.
Maybe.
That's my hope. So I'm right there with you.
NBC. Is World on the Switch?
No. It's Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, which is a port of a 3DS game that came out in Japan called Monster Hunter Double Cross.
Okay.
And then like there was no mention of it coming out. So people got mad, and then they announced, basically last year that it was going to get released for Switch. And then it did. It is difficult to go back and forth between the two. So my hope is that they, like, even if they did just another Generations Ultimate style game, but put the quality of life enhancements from World in there. Like, they don't have to make it, big and over the top. Oh, hang on. World of Warcraft, you will not start an update. No.
It doesn't ask for your permission.
Oh no, I can't close Battle.net from here.
Close it.
So, there we go. Close Battle.net. There we go.
We also had Street Fighter V Arcade Edition last year. That's Capcom.
Yes.
How could I forget? The most important one.
Yep. Does Capcom also do, or is it Bandai Namco that does the Dragon Ball Fighter games?
That's Bandai Namco.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And actually, I think Bandai Namco just publishes, I'm pretty sure some other company that's well known for anime fighting games actually made the game.
Oh, okay.
And I think Namco Bandai just published. If you ever heard of like Blaze Blue, which is like a relatively popular anime fighting game.
Yeah.
I think people who made that, the company, whatever company made that, made Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah.
And Dragon Ball Fighters is getting some updates relatively soon too.
I think I saw
that. I haven't played that game in a long time. Yeah, they're getting some more DLC. Like if they're doing their season 2 basically of DLC characters.
That's right. I think the last time we reported it, the developers said that they want to make sure that season 2 comes to Switch, I think, as well. Yeah. Sweet. Yeet.
Yeah. Yeet.
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 So, I think that pretty much wraps it up for the regular news this week. What do you think?
Yeah. What else? Oh, I mean, for those who like Halo,
Oh,
the
right.
Halo Master Chief Collection is coming to PC via Steam.
Yep.
So this is basically all the Halos.
Yeah.
I was reading they're not coming out all together at the same time. They're going to release them in chronological order, one at a time. I don't know what the time frame is, but
yeah,
I've just been seeing a lot of memes of Steam in various ways killing the Epic Games Store.
Yeah. Yep.
With this.
Oh, actually, this does remind me. Or also, so it's coming to Steam and not Microsoft's not selling it through its own.
I don't know
thing. That seems weird to me. Because they essentially have their own game store for Windows.
They do. It's awful.
Yeah, but because it's what
they want to make
is it
money,
Xbox Live or is it Xbox Game Pass or something?
I don't know, but if they actually want to make money, which I'm sure they do, they're gonna do it through Steam.
So
if they actually want copies to sell.
I think did we report previously that Xbox? I think it's Xbox Live is coming to Nintendo Switch.
What? Huh?
Yeah, it's Microsoft is planning on releasing it's whichever app lets people buy Xbox games. Because they want Xbox to be a platform that is available everywhere. So like they want it on your phones, they want it on laptops, they want it on tablets, they want it on other consoles.
Want to know why? Because they see the future of consoles is going.
What is cloud gaming?
Exactly. So no, they want to set themselves up kind of like Steam.
Absolutely.
They want to sell the games because eventually, and we've said this before, every consoles are basically just going to be PCs.
Yeah.
Or some form of PC. Because they're basically all the same now, other than the Switch is a little bit different from the other two.
That's on brand for Nintendo, so.
Right. But an Xbox One and a PlayStation 4 really aren't all that different.
Yeah.
More or less. They basically got their specs are close enough that it's negligible. Yeah.
And it's basically like if you want to think about it in terms of like mobile kind of a thing, it's almost like that they just take like the iPhone route where it's like developers can develop an app for the iPhone, but like that every iPhone or every iOS phone is going to have like very specific standards that you develop for kind of a thing, as opposed to Android, which has like wildly different specs and stuff. So it's almost like kind of the comparison of a little bit. I know I'm stretching it a bit, but like PC to console kind of a thing. So like every PS4 is going to have the same specs. So it's basically like if you just have like a PC that can never be upgraded kind of a thing. So yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, but just the idea that essentially it's just a PC that has specific specs that you can't upgrade or whatever. So I get kind of like a laptop. Right? Because you can't really upgrade laptops these days.
Not much.
But yeah, so no, the Xbox wants they want their platform everywhere. Probably not Sony, but because
Sony doesn't want them anyway.
Sony doesn't want to play nice with anybody. But yeah, I guess it will appear on Nintendo Switch, and I guess the thought is that you'll be able to buy basically games that the Switch can play, and then I think their thinking is, well, when you see these other games that you won't be able to play on Switch because it can't handle it, it'll be available on Xbox, so why don't you pick it up there? Or if they're going to do like down-resing type stuff or whatever and say like, well, if you want to play it in 4K, why don't you pick yourself up an Xbox One?
Well, that's not going to be the case anymore because next year I'm sure we're going to get either announcements or the next generation of consoles is coming very soon.
Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna hear anything on Nintendo's front console wise, because they have said that they
No.
want the Switch to have longevity.
Yeah.
Longevity. But yeah, I mean, we'll definitely.
Longevity?
Yeah, it's been a long day. Longevity.
Sorry, I couldn't let that one pass.
No, that's fair. That's totally fine.
I was just, for a second, I was like, wait, are you making a joke, or are you? I couldn't tell.
No, and I'm sure you could see the gears trying to turn in my head, going like, "Is that the word?"
I did.
I had to repeat it a couple times because I don't know if it's right, and it wasn't.
Here, I'm going to digress. I'm going to give you a funny story about my first day in my new job at my school.
All right.
So I often have to do like the morning announcements.
Yep. Oh, I'm sure that is a treat.
Yes, it's great. I have fun with it most of the time.
Yeah.
I like on Wednesdays. It's Wednesday, my dudes. Lots of memes, lots of fun things. I have to keep it. You gotta have it.
You thought it was Friday, but it was me, Joshua.
It was me, Mr. York. So, anyways, I have to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes.
So I'm doing it, and I get to the part where it's indivisible.
Oh no!
Right. And the first day I did it, I said individual.
Oh no!
And I said it, and I stopped. I'm like, whoa, that was like a tongue slip. I know that's not the right word.
Yep.
And then I tried to say it again, and I said individual again. And then I paused, and I tried to say it again. I said individual again. And then one more time. I said it 4 times in a row. I stopped in the middle of the pledge. And
no!
And then I stopped and said, well, it looks like I messed up. And liberty and justice for all.
Oh no! Oh.
So yeah, that was my very first day on the job doing announcements.
Yep.
And now I make sure to very much emphasize indivisible.
Yep.
Every time I do it.
Could have been worse.
But
you could have said invisible.
Right. And I was just like, I knew it was the wrong word, and it was just one of those moments where your brain gets stuck and you can't fix it.
Yep. No.
So
yeah. I can empathize.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's gonna wrap up news for this week. So really quick, let's talk about what's going on in 8-Bit Adventures. Comic this week: JoJo memes meets Monster Hunter memes.
That's what I'm looking for.
And I decided to change it up. So, this one won't go in the book, when the book, finally gets produced or whatever. But I did format it for Instagram, so it will actually show up on Instagram and be formatted nicely for that.
Nice.
One of the things that I was talking about on the art stream that I did this week, was how it's like this discrepancy where, like, I feel like you can make a comic that's designed to be printed as a book, or you can make comics that are meant to be shared on social media, but like you can't really do both. Because the formatting for one doesn't really work for the other. So like Instagram, everything's got to be square, and you have to break stuff up into squares so that like you scroll through. Whereas like most books aren't shaped that way.
Not a lot of square books.
No. So then it becomes an issue, kind of a thing. So I may do that in the future, where if I want to do a weird filler comic that's like that, I'll do it in squares and throw it on Instagram and everything.
I'll give you, just from my perspective, I like this little break to do something a little. Again, I've just been silly this week. I like that, a little silly, dumb little like, haha, look at this joke.
Well, and then it just played right into one of the few clips that I have on the Twitch channel where I was playing Monster Hunter World and fighting a Rathalos, which is one of the apex predators in that zone, just big old red fire-breathing dragon with a stinger on its tail, through a flash pod, which is basically like a stun grenade to blind monsters kind of a thing. And out of the sky, out of nowhere, drops basil juice. And was like, I didn't even know that was here. I messed up bad, guys. I messed up real bad. Because, this monster has a habit of just showing up when you least expect it and when you least want it to. And it's almost always when you're fighting another monster. So, it was just great. And, it made me think of the Dio meme And I was like, okay, I gotta look at. I actually had to research like the exact wording and like how it looks and the framing and everything. And then I was like, okay, I got this. I can do this. So yeah. So no plot advancement, just a throwaway comic, but that's fine. There will be new Speedy and Monty comic this week for patrons. Well, I'll introduce a new little side character for that one based on real life circumstances. Monty's new little furry friend that lives in the wall.
Oh no.
Yeah. Finally saw it the other day. So
Kill it with fire.
I can't bring myself to do it.
You need to.
Probably. But
I'll do it. I've got a gun.
I'll
just start shooting your wall.
No. So the thing was, it's basically in the bathroom. We have where the pipes come in. There's it's like cut out around the pipes and everything, kind of thing. So that's just where it's coming in, and it's not going outside at all. It's just because we have open drawers in that bathroom cabinet below the sink. It's just crawling up into the drawers and just chewing on things.
Well, I know what you can do. Tips. Stuff that hole with steel wool.
Yep, that is the plan. We don't have any right now, but that's just a simple case of going to Stop and Shop or Home Depot or whatever.
Yep.
And literally, that will fix the problem. Up until then, I had put packing tape on it, sticky side facing the hole, and thinking like, oh well, if it tries to chew through it or whatever, it'll just get caught. No, it did chew a hole through the tape and everything. Just push it to the side. But it wasn't a problem until we cleaned, and there were cough drops that like had attracted it the last time before we had cleaned, and I had been leaving them on top of the sink. Mm-hmm. And like, because this little critter does not want to venture out, it just said, okay, fine, I'm not gonna bother you guys anymore then. Cough drops got put back in my drawer, and then what happened was we heard the noise. I opened the drawer, and there's just wrapping and cough drops just everywhere. Ugh. So that's all, but I'm going to turn my misfortune into serendipity, and we will introduce Roscoe the mouse.
Yes.
So, because I'm weird and name all the critters that come into the house. So
it's fine.
And I had to pick something that would go with Monty, and I was like, Roscoe. Yeah. So there's that. We're going to do another multiplayer monster hunting stream tomorrow night. At the very least, it will be myself and Josh Carty, player of Tyron Kai on Tales of Jamora. And we'll see if we can get other folks in as well. No promises there due to work schedules, but and since we haven't dropped any frames tonight, I expect that we should have no issues tomorrow night. So instead, you will get plenty of me not knowing how to play Generations Ultimate anymore because the controls are entirely different from World. So you may get hunts of just me dodging everywhere because that's the only button I can remember to do.
It's an important button.
Yes. It just means that it would be great if I could switch the cameras to then show Josh, kicking butt with his longsword kind of stuff or whatever. And then me in the background just rolling around on the ground everywhere. Going I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that will pretty much be it for streams this week. Tales of Jamora is next week. That'll be back. And we're going to do a different posting schedule. We were talking about this pre-stream a little bit in our group chat. But so in order to help people, get caught up, since it looks like a lot of the folks that have been following the show, seems like they're actually pretty caught up and they don't want to be a month and a half behind. We're going to figure out some solution to now output the show as a whole. And then it might be a week later, the full episode gets put up. And And then in the meantime, what I'll do is just like release all the episodes since they're already uploaded and everything, so that way people can get caught up with that if they've been following that stuff. So it'll also make it easier for me to upload everything, so that way I'm not having to basically like take 3 days to get everything uploaded. So it'll be better for you folks as well, dear viewers and listeners. And then no quest log this week since Courtney's not here and Josh and I didn't play any Final Fantasy IX. So
yeah, sorry, I've been just too much going on.
Yeah,
I didn't have time to sit down and play an RPG like that.
Actually, I haven't played any Switch games since the Thursday stream last week. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of Tetris 99 videos on YouTube though.
I also feel like I'm gonna have a hard time this week because I have my D&D game and
yep.
With that, we'll see. I might get some
hype.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, also random bit of to pull it back. News this week. The Critical Role Kickstarter update.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure by now has probably broke 7.5 million. Let's see. I still have it bookmarked so that I can just open it up and see where it's at now. Oh, nope, just under 7.2 million. So looks like it is finally starting to slow down, but they're still cranking out there. They got another 35 days to go, 36 days to go. So yeah. And then I guess actually Matt made some sort of offhand remark on Twitter about potentially, I don't know, doing something with indie developers, whether it's doing shows that like of them playing indie games or something produced by indie developers. I'm not sure. But yeah, because like there's been a lot of discussions that have been happening because of the success of this Kickstarter, either surrounding tabletop RPGs in general and like visibility and discussions of that and other conversations. But yeah. So also Chris Perkins on their episode of Between the Sheets this week. It was a really good episode.
Yeah, I watched maybe a third of it.
Some very enlightening things, like the D&D team is 25 people. That seems seems super small to me. Like that is the entirety of the Dungeons and Dragons portion of Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, I wonder if like
so the impression that I get is that they hire out a lot of
marketing, and I wonder if marketing and stuff is counted in that or not.
I believe it is. So, but I guess what they do is they do a lot of freelance. They hire a lot of freelance work.
Yeah,
and that's how
I can believe that
they do it.
I can believe that because it's producing books and writing, so you don't need a lot of people to do that.
It just like with a lot of the adventure stuff and the fine tuning and everything and the monster design and stuff.
Yeah, you don't need a lot of people to do that. In fact, a lot of people would slow the process down quite a bit. Because anytime more and more people get involved in a project, it starts grinding to a halt.
Yeah.
And slowing down. Just because everybody has their opinion.
Unless you
have a really good manager who's just like, no, here's the decision.
I mean, it makes sense given the fact that like they've had like kind of a slower release schedule. Like if they were releasing more book, like the rate that they were doing for 4th edition, I would still be surprised because like then I would assume that you would have like a bunch of people working on a book and you would just have different teams working on different books kind of thing. But
I also still want to play a 4th edition game someday.
You know what? Maybe we'll do that as a one-off kind of thing. Because I have all of my books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or do a modified one.
A lot of people put it down, but it seems like fun to me.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody tell you any differently. You heard it from me.
I just like the idea of a class like fighter having way more to it than it does in this edition.
Yep.
Like you actually have abilities and cool things you can do.
That there are legit tanking mechanics.
You're right.
In
I
4th
love
edition.
that.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
That was something it is an optional rule in the DMG. That maybe at some point we'll look into doing. But like I know you like with your character as a paladin, like you technically like compelled duel is basically stemmed from a base mechanic that paladins had in 4E.
Yeah.
Where it was like they weren't great at AoE tanking, but they were really good at single focus tanking because you just auto damaged people that didn't follow it. So yeah. So there you go, folks. Maybe we'll do some kind of, or maybe we'll do it outside. We'll do a special, I don't know, outside of Tales of Jamora, kind of one shot thing, or I don't know, something that's not in the studio, maybe. And do it outside of that. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't, because we'll figure something out.
Yeah, I'm just shooting off thoughts that are in my head. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should run one.
I mean, I have plenty of experience doing so.
Also, just never mind.
Also got to play super cool ranged Beastmaster because it was me.
Yeah.
We had a 2-person party and we were OP. Yeah.
Your DM wasn't setting it up right.
It was Tuck.
They needed to be harder.
Tuck didn't know what to do. He just kept throwing more and more monsters and higher level monsters at us, and we were just like consistently steamrolling through things or whatever. And he was like, "You were supposed to run away or surrender to this group." We were like level 11, and there was like a 17, 16, 15, 14, and like 2 13 monsters, level 13 monsters. So like we were supposed to be outgunned, and we were just like, "Nope." You ain't taking us. And they did not. Yep.
Nice.
So yeah, I guess be on the lookout for that. And if you want to, speaking of Tales of Jamora, if you want to see more stuff about that specific setting, we have a sister site, jamora.com, specifically for that show and that campaign setting. So if you want to do your own take there, let me know if you have any questions, and certainly you can send emails for that to podcast@jamora.com. And if you want to see more content from 8-Bit Adventures, you can head on over to 8bitadventures.com. That's 8-bitadventures.com. If you want to help support that content, you can head on over to patreon.com/8bitadventures. And get some cool benefits like seeing stuff early, getting patron exclusive access to certain things, and access to certain patrons only channels in our Discord, since we have a Discord server.
Nani?
Indeed. We use it a lot when doing voice chat for games or for doing something like this podcast right here. So,
you use Discord for games?
Yeah.
What? You can do that?
We use Discord for playing Monster Hunter.
I know.
Although, with Josh's headset, it doesn't really work unless he does push to talk. So, it doesn't really work out very well. But
I always use push to talk except for this.
Yeah. Well, it's hard when you're playing a console game and doing push to talk.
Oh, you gotta set one of your buttons on your controller to your push to talk. Switch.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I see.
Yeah.
I see.
I mean, I suppose we could use the Nintendo Switch Online app to do voice chat. No, it seems silly to do that. Yeah. So, and our opening theme is One Up by Professor Shy Guy. You can find his work over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com. Go check out his new album. He's got a teaser up right now, and it is the track that has the illustrious Matthew Mercer on it. So
what?
Yes. Yeah,
wow.
did a collab with Matt Mercer. So, and if you are heading to Denver Comic-Con, go say hi to Courtney, because she will be there whenever it is. I don't know when it actually is, but she's
tomorrow.
excited to be going. It's not tomorrow.
I don't know.
It's at some point. So, with that, we're going to head off. So, have fun, everyone. Happy gaming. Enjoy your pie cake, and blibbity blue.
Yep, that's what I was going to say.
Good night, everybody.
See you later.